All right, before we go any further, we have some breaking news just coming in. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has said that war is in no one's interest. No, IRNA has reported that Pezeshkian has urged every rational and diplomatic path to be used to reduce tensions. He, however, added that vigilance in interactions remains an undeniable necessity. Now, this comes as reports say that Pakistan has intensified diplomatic contacts since Sunday with Washington and Tehran to ensure that the talks proceed as soon as Tuesday. And this is right before a fragile ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran comes to an end. Now, this is the latest that we are getting in. Pezeshkian, Iranian president, has said that war is in no one's interest, as Pakistan, as a leader, is making every effort to have both the parties to hold peace talks. All right, to give us some more details, I'm being joined by my colleague Shivan Chanana from Newsroom. Shivan, thank you so much for joining us. Could you give us a brief of what is happening? We just saw this remark from the Iranian president. What are the latest that you've been picking up?
Jyotsna, if you just look at the language from this remark that has come in, it's not a post on his official account. This is during an interview that he said this. The language gives you a sense that Iran will be coming to the negotiating table. It's not what earlier they had reported. The state media had reported that Iran will not be sending a delegation to Islamabad for those talks with the US. Iran wants that ceasefire. They've not capitulated. Nothing takes away from whatever they have done and the damage they have also caused to the US, but they do want that ceasefire and a long-lasting end to hostilities. That's something they have maintained all out till now. So as the ceasefire approaches, that 2-week ceasefire seems to be approaching the end of it, will be seen on Wednesday. That end is approaching soon. Now, after what we learned earlier, that Iran will not be taking part in the negotiations, it wasn't an official statement. It came through their state media. Now you're hearing it from the Iranian president. And, when he says war is in no one's interest, or a line like he's urged every rational and diplomatic path to be used to reduce tensions, it clearly means they want to have negotiations with the US. Let me give you a little more context. Just hours earlier, we had learnt that the MV from Iran, the Iranian vessel, was taken over by US Marines. It was a coordinated effort between various US military vessels which have been deployed in the Strait of Hormuz. The USS Spruance had fired at the engine room of the Iranian vessel, and later US Marines, they took off from a helicopter from the USS amphibious military ship, that is Tripoli, and landed on that vessel and took charge of it. Iran then mentioned that they were able to cause attacks on the US battleship, and the US destroyer are making sure that it retreats. Of course, these are differing claims coming in from the US and Iran. That is credible because they're at war. They are going to have differing opinions on how to project the incident. They're setting their own narratives on their own end. But what we know so far is that US is arriving in Islamabad. We've been showing live visuals on the channel coming in from Islamabad as Pakistan prepares to have round 2 of these negotiations. From the US side, the negotiating team is going to be led by the Vice President J.D. Vance, and he will be accompanied by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the same team that came last time. And from the Iranian side, we're yet to hear on who is going to be coming this time. It seems Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf is definitely going to be at the fore. He has been posting very, very actively, seems to be at the fore of decision making, or at least that he's the face of negotiations from the Iranian side. We'll need to wait to see how that one goes. But this statement that you mentioned from the Iranian president, it makes it clear that Iran will be coming to the negotiating table. And just to add, Jyotsna, earlier in the day, we both had a conversation with a US war veteran, Colonel David, and he mentioned the same thing, that Iran eventually will come. They can't not do without negotiation.
Well, absolutely. And if that happens, of course, nothing could be more positive at a situation where the global economy is in a turmoil. And of course, that would be a step forward to see if we have someone from Iran taking place in these peace talks. Thank you so much, Shivan, for being all the latest. Of course, we'll be coming back, and as and when we get more updates.